Greetings. I'm Marissa Kofakwali with Ask Life Coaching Ministries. And of course, today is definitely again, one of those days where I've been really studying and reading. And so, some of the things I've definitely came up with the concept of basically is what my video says, which is finding your soul. Finding your soul is very important. I know y'all trying to ask me about finding your soul. What exactly does that mean, right? So people talk about soul mates, right? So before you can go to the level of finding a soul mate or your soul mate coming in your direction, usually you have to first understand your soul. You have to understand what exactly your soul is. And finding it. If you don't know what it is, you cannot find it. Then what has to happen is you get with a soul counselor and you ask the soul counselor to help you to find your soul. And it's all about basically finding your heart. Do you actually have a heart? And I know, of course, if you're breathing, obviously, right, do you have a heart? It's going. But I'm talking about a heart. Do you care? Do you really care? Wow. Anyway, these are new stone crystals that I got today. And it actually has salt on them. Interesting. So, not bad. This is a whole pound. Does that look like a whole pound to you all? Well, this is pretty big, so yeah, it is actually a pound. So anyway, I have more coming. That's just the first batch that they sent. Anyway, so I've been contemplating about that because I've had clients here come to me lately and tell me that they don't feel like they have a soul, and I'm like, what makes you think you feel like you don't have a soul? So they start describing all these details of not really feeling anything and not really grabbing the concept of other people's feelings, not really caring about their feelings, and really feeling numb to situations and not really excited about anything that goes on in their life. So I said, wow, that's kind of interesting. So what else? Well, I don't really like. One client told me, well, two separate clients on the same date, and the other client basically told me that they don't actually feel anything. Like if something tragic happens in their family, if something that happened to their mother, they had no feeling, and they felt like they loved their mother, but they just couldn't connect that emotional standpoint. So I said, wow, do you have a soul? And they was like, I don't know. I was like, interesting. So anyway, we started this therapy, and I really began to start doing a lot of research on it. And actually, when they said that they really didn't really have a soul or feelings or emotions, I could see it be true. So I had to go back and retrace the steps of finding out, like, when did this happen? Was they always like this? Was it something that came about here recently? Or is it something that traumatic happened within their life? And if so, at what point in time? So we began to go through this, figuring out. So anyway, the aha moment. So this person had a grandfather, and the grandfather would always, some would joke at them, and if they would want to cry or, spare some type of emotion, he would whoop their butts. He would just spank them, with belts. If they cry, especially the boys, and this client is a male, and so if he would feel sad about something, his grandfather would, spank him. Or say, hey, quit that crying now, to the point, or he got to the point where he would just look at him, and if he felt like he was going to cry or have a tear in his eye, he would suck it back in. And I'm like, how did you suck it back in? And he said he would just pull the tear back. So I was like, wow, okay. So ever since then, you never cried anymore. I was like, no, never cried anymore. And he was like, I was like, well, did you feel anything from that point, and what else happened to make you feel like that? And he just went into this whole story. When his grandfather had basically passed away, everybody was crying at the funeral. He didn't really want to console anybody. He didn't feel like it. He just like checked out. He was unemotionally unavailable. So we began to start doing this work and pulling all these things out of him, and he began to start talking, and as he was talking, something lifted from him, and he all of a sudden burst out into tears. And so I said, do you understand why you crying? And he said, yeah. He said he felt like something was holding his chest. He felt like something was holding his stomach. He felt like something was holding him and pushing him back. He said every time he thought of emotion, it would go back in. But he just couldn't do it. He felt, and then all of a sudden, he hadn't cried in like 20 years. And finally, he cried. So, anyway, when I got off the phone with the client, he felt better. I started doing more research. And I was like, wow, okay, interesting. So, yes, find your soul. And if you have one, keep it. And understand, I don't think that people should cry all the time because I think it's unhealthy to cry. I think it's unhealthy not to cry as well. So find your soul. If you need help finding your soul, get with Ask Life Coaching Ministries with Sister Amira Sankofa Kwali. I'll be happy to work with you. My number is 502-208-9142. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.